Salam Keluarga Malaysia. Hello and good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mohana Priya and you're watching Updates at Noon. Making the headlines today, Cabinet approves anti-hopping bill draft. Government urged for stricter enforcement. The Special Task Force on Jihad Against Inflation is seeking the cooperation of media agencies to give accurate reports and not sensationalize news items that can cause concern among the rakyat. Its chairman, Tan Sri Anwar Musa, who is also the Communications and Multimedia Minister, said that while the government never denied the media's crucial role in reporting, there were several news reports that were sensationalized.
Ada elemen kebenaran sebahagiannya, tetapi mungkin telah terlebih, gula dan garamnya telah terlebih sedikit. Jadi saya minta mestilah kita memberi laporan seberapa tepat yang boleh, kerana kita tidak mahu memberi bukan saja gambaran yang salah ya, sebab ini semua ada kaitannya dengan soal kenaikan harga, panic buying, dan tidak membantu dalam usaha kita nak mengawal impak daripada inflasi dan kenaikan harga barang.
According to the minister, among the media reports looked at were allegations that many would go bankrupt for various reasons. But checks with the finance ministry showed that the bankruptcy trend in the country, which rose previously, was on the decline, and it was completely different from what was reported. He said communicating accurate reports played a big role in assisting the Special Task Force in tackling the issue of inflation. The Cabinet has approved a draft anti-hopping bill that is scheduled for tabling in Parliament on Monday. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Parliament and Law, Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar, said the Cabinet meeting held on Wednesday had no objections and unanimously approved the draft of the bill. Elaborating further through a statement released, the minister said an official letter has been submitted to Dewan Rakyat Speaker Tan Sri Azhar Azizan Harun for the draft of the Constitution Amendment No. 3 Bill 2022 to be laid on the tables of MPs for reference in line with the Dewan Rakyat Standing Order 60. Datuk Sri Wan Junaidi further reiterated the government's commitment for the second reading of the draft bill to be held on 27th and 28th July, subject to the discretion of the Speaker. He also said that the Special Select Committee set up to review the bill has finalized and confirmed amendments made to the draft report. He also noted that the anti-hopping bill to be tabled in the Dewan Rakyat could become law by late August or early September. One-stop quarantine centres, OSQC, will be created at locations dealing with the import and export of agricultural and agro-food produce to strengthen national biosecurity controls and food security. Agriculture and Food Industries Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Ronald Kiandi said for a start, an OSQC has been proposed to be set up at Port Klang as it is the biggest entry point to the country.
Kerajaan telah bersetuju untuk mewujudkan OSQC bagi memastikan barang makanan diimport dari luar memenuhi syarat-syarat yang diletakkan oleh kerajaan bagi memastikan unsur elemen kesihatan, kebersihan dipatuhi oleh setiap negara.
The OSQC will prepare integrated quarantine and agro-food security facilities, including inspection, quarantine treatment, testing, research, monitoring and disposal of agriculture and agro-food products. The Veterinary Services Department, he added, had conducted the certification of new abattoirs at exporting countries to ensure the sources of beef, buffalo meat and chicken could be varied. According to the minister, the number of facilities certified rose to 227 compared to 216 in 26 countries previously, an increase of 11 locations in Thailand, India and Pakistan. The government has been urged to implement more serious and stricter enforcement to prevent scams involving those wishing to perform the Hajj from recurring. The Association of Bumiputra Tourism Operating Companies Malaysia, Bumitra President Harun Kesi Ahmad said a committee should be set up to prevent certain quarters from making reckless accusations against Lembaga Tabung Haji, TH, and the companies listed under its Pengelola Jemaah Haji, PJH. Commenting further, Harun said the relevant government agencies, TH and the Tourism, Arts and Culture Ministry need to sit together and tie up loose ends so that all companies involved in offering Hajj services comply with the law. He added that the regulatory body should be responsible for ending the special visa problem and follow the guidelines set by TH to protect the interests of prospective pilgrims. Meanwhile, when asked if the number of companies listed under PJH, which is around 22 companies, was too small that could lead to the existence of the alleged Hajj cartel, Harun said TH would impose strict assessments on the companies and would not give random approval. The Academy of Sciences Malaysia has signed a collaboration agreement with 5 research universities in developing the Malaysia Open Science Platform, MOSP, to strengthen national research raw data sharing practices. The universities are Universiti Malaya, Universiti Sains Malaysia, Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia, Universiti Putra Malaysia and Universiti Teknologi Malaysia. Science, Technology and Innovations Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Adham Baba said the 5 varsities would be pioneers for research raw data sharing practices in line with global efforts to make scientific knowledge more openly available. He said UNESCO defines open science as a movement and practice aimed at making existing scientific knowledge openly available, easily accessible and reusable by all. The minister said the initiative, which was first spearheaded by his ministry in 2019, would increase transdisciplinary cooperation between experts and increase research results that could be solution to various issues facing the country. Speaking on the advantages of open science practices, Datuk Sri Dr. Adham said they would improve the research ecosystem so that cooperation and knowledge sharing could be enhanced for the good of society. Meanwhile, Academy of Sciences Malaysia President Professor Emerita Dr. Asma Ismail said the setting up of the MOSP would also enable research raw data sponsored by public funding to be protected and kept in the depository controlled by the government. Coming up, Rural Development Ministry to protect overseas assets from seizure. Now, the government has added 11 more building materials in the implementation of the Variation of Prices or VOP clause to help face the rising prices of building materials. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said this will also ensure projects are completed on time and added that there were now 15 items in the VOP, including cement, bricks, glass and ceiling and roof materials.
Oleh itu, kerajaan telah mengembalikan semula syarat perubahan harga ataupun VOP bagi memastikan projek dapat disiapkan tepat pada masanya. Kerajaan telah mengumumkan 4 jenis bahan binaan yang telah pun diumumkan. Dan hari ini saya ingin umumkan bagi membantu kontraktor-kontraktor, kita tambahkan 15 lagi di dalam senarai VOP itu.
The Premier said this when opening the Pahang Malay Contractors Association's 38th Annual General Meeting in Berita yesterday. In addition, Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri said the government had also agreed in principle to increase the price of hardcore poor housing program homes to help small-scale contractors earn profits. He said this was due to complaints received from contractors that it was difficult for them to continue construction projects after the hike in building materials has not made them any profits, some to the extent of wanting to hand over back the projects. In his speech, the Prime Minister said the government was always committed to reviving affected economic sectors through the implementation of development projects and microcredit financing facilities in the construction sector. The Rural Development Ministry, KPLB, will protect its assets abroad to ensure they do not become the target of claims by outsiders claiming to be heirs of the Sulu Sultanate. Its Minister, Datuk Sri Madzri Khalid, said the ministry, through some agencies, especially Majlis Amanah Rakyat Mara, owned assets in several countries. It is understood that some of the assets owned by Mara included buildings, among them in Melbourne, Australia, London, United Kingdom, Washington, the United States and Egypt. Datuk Sri Madzir said this when asked to comment on the ministry's action to protect its assets abroad, following reports that the assets of two Petronas subsidiaries in Azerbaijan were seized by heirs of the Sulu Sultanate, who are claiming $14.92 billion from Malaysia. Datuk Sri Madzir said the ministry would monitor the development and that he had contacted Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Parliament and Law, Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar, for detailed information regarding the matter. The choice of currency in the pricing of hotel rates is in the hands of the operators. Tourism, Arts and Culture Minister Nancy Shukri said there is a freedom of choice for the hotel operators. If they want to charge in US dollars, they can do so. However, she said they should examine all possible implications before taking such a step. Datuk Sri Nancy stressed that the government does not interfere in the pricing as it is a matter of economic freedom.
Kami Motek tidak kita tak campur tangan because this is kebebasan ekonomi. Cuma saya nyatakan kepada mereka kalau nak pun dia kena bincang sedalam-dalamnya dari segi implikasi. Mungkin mereka melihat dari sudut implikasi positif saja, tapi kita perlu melihat dari sudut implikasi secara jangka panjang. Namun begitu itu kita serahkan kepada industri players because industry players, they know better.
On Wednesday, Malaysian Association of Hotels Secretary General Megat Sharul Azman Abbas floated the idea of 4- and 5-star hotels in Malaysia accepting the US dollars, similar to the practice in other countries. Echoing a similar sentiment, Warren Fernandez, Director of Marketing PR Communications for Ascot Malaysia, concurred that certain hoteliers targeting overseas travellers and affluent Malaysians should charge in US dollars, bearing in mind high revenue even if experiencing low occupancy. Malaysia will announce a new gold medal target for the Birmingham Commonwealth Games 2022 on 19th July. Deputy Chief de Mission Gerard Montero said the Olympic Council of Malaysia and National Sports Council NSC would hold a meeting today to decide on the new medal target for the national contingent.
Itu is left between MS and OCM to decide. I think they should come out in the next day or so untuk sasaran baru lah. Tapi recently diving pun did well in the World Championship. I think the doubles, Pearly and Tina have done well in the Malaysian Masters. So gives us hope lah, harapan yang baru lah untuk kita meet the sasaran lah.
Gerard was met after visiting the table tennis training centre at the NSC. The OCM had previously targeted 7 gold medals, 2 from badminton and 1 each from rhythmic gymnastics, lawn bowls, weightlifting, squash and powerlifting at the 28th July to 8th August Birmingham Commonwealth Games. The medal target, however, has to be reviewed following the withdrawal of national men's singles shuttler Lee Zijia and national women's squash ace S. Sivasankari, who has had to pull out after being involved in an accident. And that concludes today's edition of Updates at Noon. In our top story today, Cabinet approves anti-hopping bill draft. Now, don't forget to tune into News at 10 coming up at 10 p.m. on saluran Berita RTM. We leave you today with a clip of a baby elephant pulled from a manhole in a dramatic rescue in central Thailand, with the mother elephant having to be sedated to allow the operation to proceed. I'm Mohana Priya. Thank you for your company.